Am I the asshole for not putting a garden gnome on my lawn? I only ever take to the subreddit for stupid things, it seems. Hi, 26F here. I recently bought my first house in a cute little neighborhood. There's 12 houses on our street, no HOA, no rules about lawn design, only a rule that the roofs can't be black. Cool, whatever. My neighbor, we'll call him Mr. Thomas, 65-ish, right across the street has his garden stuffed, and I mean stuffed, with garden gnomes. They're everywhere, they climb up the water drain, they're on the porch, on the grass. It's a whole thing. Not my style, but fine. I moved in the first week of March, and the day after Mr. Thomas came to say hello, introduce himself, and bring me a garden gnome was a welcome gift. I thought it was absolutely hideous, but I thanked him, and then put it in a shed after he left. The following day I brought all neighbors some self-made cookies. Mr. Thomas and his wife got some too, and they seemed happy about it. 2 or 3 days later, I was walking my dog, and Mr. Thomas stopped me and asked why I hadn't put my gnome in my front yard. I didn't tell him I hated the gnome, I just told him I had something else in mind for my garden, which I just hadn't gotten around to yet. True, and the gnome was doing a formidable job, guarding my tools in the shed. He got really upset and snappy with me, and told me that he's been living in this street for 30 years and every neighbor gets a gnome as a welcome gift, and every neighbor puts them up in the front yard. I hadn't really paid any mind up until that point, but once he mentioned it, I noticed that there was a garden gnome in every front yard. He mentioned how it's a tradition, and everybody's got to do it. I asked him if he wanted the gnome back if he didn't like where I put it. He said no, so I just calmly told him that I most likely wasn't going to put the gnome on the front lawn, thanked him for the gift again, wished him in my stay, and left. Ever since, I noticed that a handful of other neighbors have let their gnomes disappear, and now Mr. Thomas hates me. I get a stink eye every time we spot each other, and my neighbor next door, the sweetest old lady, bless her heart, told me he's apparently complaining about me on the regular. I told my friends this story, and one of them said I should have just put the gnome on the front lawn to make the old man happy. Am I the asshole for not doing so? Update. Thanks for all the input, lol. I gave the gnome a new home at my local second-hand shop this morning. To the people asking about the roof color, yes, it's a heat absorption thing. And to the people worrying about me being ostracized from the community, it's literally just Mr. Thomas I have an issue with. The rest is friendly towards me. Even Mrs. Thomas smiled back at me last night when I got home from work. Thomas ignored me, so I think I'll be fine.